So the internet has been collectively raging over the Kingsman situation, which is really nice to see that everyone can really coalesce on like, hey, being rude is bad, please don't do that. But the Marvel Rivals community in general is a lot more like Zazaa, Cece, and Lucy than they would like to admit. So here's my video on how we can take the fact that we all hate them and make Marvel Rivals community better, because we all need to do better, especially content creators like me. First off, the most obvious one is flexibility. I said it in my previous video that you should know at least 2 characters from each category, especially if you want to do big comp things or big tournaments. You need to be able to flex a little bit. And like one thing Kingsman kept repeatedly asking is, can you go Bucky? And I decided for my background footage, I would try a bunch of Bucky. And I didn't do great because I'm brand new and I'm bronze. But then I ran into a better opportunity to do what I was doing, because I never insta-lock DPS, but whenever I do it, everyone else goes DPS too. And I was being stubborn and I was staying on Bucky because I needed to do it for a video. And then I was like, shit, I'm pulling a Zazaa right now. So one bit ended up not recording. I ended up going rogue because my friend was Emma Frost. So we just really needed anti-dive and brawl. So we were just grabbing people together. And we ended up going from like really hard losing to winning. Another game I could stay DPS, but I just wasn't doing well on Winter Soldier. So I decided I would do a better anti-dive, so I switched to Namor because I'm better at Namor. And that is the core of what needed to happen. Instead of hard staying on Bucky, I needed to flex. So instead of hard staying on Widow, you need to flex. And instead of insta-locking Spider-Man every game and only playing Spider-Man, you might want to flex a little bit. But maybe you have a specific reason or you have an idea. There are better ways to communicate your thoughts than bullying a 20-year-old college student, making fun of him, and being like, oh, you're bringing down the vibes. There is always a better way to communicate. It's one thing I've run into a lot on comp, is that no one explains the ideas they want well. If they, instead of saying like, hey, could I get a little more healing over here? They're like, where are my fucking heals at? I hate everyone in this game. I'm such a carry. It's inefficient and it's not fun. So instead, you could just explain your thoughts. Cece said it in her apology, but I will reiterate. She should have just said, hey, can we try Widow on this one round? And if it doesn't go well, we will swap. And then they should have all gone together and been like, hey, so why was this 0 kills? Maybe they could have done a VOD review. I'm not entirely sure how much time they had, but there were better, kinder ways to go about it. And I know it's so hard to keep yourself kind when things are so high octane, high passion, you're going. And especially like if you're a younger viewer watching this, when I was in high school, I was angry and I was self-righteous. I have always struggled with anger issues and always feeling like I'm right. But it has made my life so much easier to take it down a step and communicate as chilly as I can. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. But that leads into my second thing, is really truly taking accountability. Apologies are like a really difficult thing to get down. I'm not even good at them. But, you know, not saying the words I'm sorry definitely doesn't help. If you do something wrong, like if you're in a comp game with someone and you say something really, really rude, you always have a chance to take a step back, reflect, and say, I'm really sorry for saying that. It might not fix the situation, but it's better than like doubling down on your rudeness or, you know, not saying anything. If you say like, hey, I'm sorry, tanks, for snapping at you. I realize you're solo tanking. Would you please just position a little bit better? And then you can give them any tips and try to explain your thoughts. And yet, like, I am prone to many a toxic thing. Going back to taking accountability, I'm going to set an example. I have said horrible things in many a chat. Not as bad as like a Call of Duty player, but I have gone off on some people and like I love arguing. It's so fun to me. So I have said some horrible things in Instagram comments. They haunt me every single day. Like arguments about like race swapping and art and just like, oh my god, I'm like so embarrassed talking about it. But like I I don't know. I figured I'd set an example. I don't know if that was dumb. And most prudently, because I don't think prudently was the word, but most importantly is don't bully people. I know I've kind of got over again, but like in the VOD, they're being mean, they're ganging up on him, they're making fun of him, and then afterwards, even after they apologize, they're saying horrible things to him DMs, they're talking bad about him on stream. It's not cool. And you know what else isn't cool? Ganging up on those people in their comments. Kingsman said repeatedly to leave them alone. You are being just as bad as them to be doing that. They don't send death threats to people over a video game. Yes, a 40K game. But they still do not deserve death threats over money and video games. Yes, they fucked up. But leave them alone? You are making Kingsman look bad by repeatedly bullying them. Yes, stop engaging with their content. They deserve to be deplatformed. But leaving hate comments gets them money. And before you type, you're like, oh, they deserve to be fucking dying. I think that my final point is being able to consider if you are wrong. Hearing the other person, it can be so difficult to you're like, I'm right, I'm gonna close my ears, I'm correct, I'm always correct. Being able to take a step. It's just, everything about this is like being slower, and it all takes practice. But being able to be like, where is she coming from? What are her thoughts about this? Like me, if you're talking to me, or, CC should have taken a step back and been like, why is he saying this? Should I be acting the way I am? Is, considering the other person's perspective. And they did that a little bit, and then we're an asshole anyway. But really, truly, always try to consider if you are wrong. Sometimes you decide you aren't, but it is always worth taking that little couple cents and throwing them into their pile. Because guys, life is so much easier if you aren't frustrating yourself about someone else. The amount of times I've seen in Marvel Rivals where we haven't even picked heroes yet, and someone's in the chat is like, please don't be useless, and then they decide that everyone in the team is bad already, and then they don't have a good time because they're upset about something they decided. So deciding that someone is automatically bad when they come into your game that's bad behavior. Just deciding just because someone picked Black Widow that they are bad and they're just like Zazaa, especially if it's quick play or some shit. You are being as bad as Zazaa and CC. If you're deciding that someone is a bad player because they're a woman, because Zazaa, CC, and Lucy were women, you're being just as bad as them. So, I don't know, this was a bit of a yap. I like doing little yaps, but this is my call to action to be a little bit kinder in your next game. If you want to come or type, say something nice. If you win, if your teammate does something good, tell them good job, because it is so important that we make our community better. And if you say, oh, it's useless, I'm just gonna keep being mad, that is why. So take it onto yourself to be kinder in your next game and the next game after that, and just keep working to be kinder. My mom always says, if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotten. If you decide that you're good enough now, you're never gonna become better. Yeah, anyway, comment, subscribe, I guess. I like making videos about how to be better. I like to make a lot of theory videos, if that makes sense. Not game theory, but philosophy. So yeah, if you want to see more of that, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye. Have a lovely, lovely day.